But the top two, like, there's maybe like 3 or 4, like that are interchangeable. And one of them is Vanderlei, just because every fight was chaos.
Yeah.
I'll be a Vanderlei Silva fan to the day I die. That motherfucker was a maniac. In Pride, when he fought Rampage and he's standing in front of him, like bobbing his head back and forth, the fucking stare down.
Shorts on.
You do this fucking thing, the wiggle the gloves, dude. I can very clearly remember Eddie Bravo and I sitting in my living room, cross-legged on the couch, hands sweaty, when Vanderlei was about to fight Rampage.
It was a fight.
It was a fucking war.
Couple of balls of estrogen.
It was war. God damn, he was good. God damn, he was chaotic. He was just so ferocious. So he will always have a special place in my heart. But then when it comes to technicians, there's 2 guys that are interchangeable. It's Anderson and Fedor. Those are my 2 favorite technicians.
Anderson fell out of my top because of the steroids.
I give him a break. I give him a break on his past performances. I give him a break on the spectacular knockouts, like the Vitor Belfort front kick to the face, choking out Dan Henderson when Dan was dropping bombs out people. I give him a break. You know, before his chin went, before the Weidman fight, when Weidman caught him, Weidman fucking hurt him, dude. He hurt him bad. And if you watch that second fight, it just does not look like he takes the same punch that he did in the first fight. And they're in the clinch. He gets clipped and he goes down. And I look at him, I go, man, here's a guy who's struggling. Like, this is the end of the career. He's 39. Yeah. This is how we look at athletes.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is the reality of, if you're going to be natural, this is the reality of athletes. They get to a certain point, especially after a few knockouts, and they're 39 years old. Like, that's what you're looking at, man. You're looking at the deterioration of the master. And at one point in time, Anderson was the fucking master. To say anything else,
the best I've ever seen.
Ridiculous. He's the best.
Finished everybody.
As far as performances, I look at the way he put guys away too, like the Stephan Bonner fight. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, he did it like he's a magician. He's standing with his back up against the cage. Waved him over, and then when he decides it's time to attack, crushes him with one knee to the solar plexus.
The confidence you have to do that as a fighter.
Bonner's huge too. Bonner's 6'4", 235.
Was on juice. Bonner tested positive.
He tested positive, yeah.
I mean, obviously, Bonner's not the best example. I mean, he's not the best fighter that, no disrespect, but he's not the best fighter that Anderson's faced. Right. But you look at what he did to Rich Franklin. Rich Franklin's a tough motherfucker, man. Look at Rich Franklin with Chuck Liddell.
How about Forrest Griffin?
Right, but do you think the Rich Franklin that fought Chuck Liddell was better than the Rich Franklin that fought Anderson? Because I don't.
No, there's no way.
No. So the Anderson that fought Rich Franklin, he fought the best Rich Franklin ever and just ran through him. Stood in front of him, dropped his hands, and let him throw kicks at him, and just died. In a fucking championship fight, in a world championship fight, his hands are down, the guy's throwing kicks at his head, and he's bobbing and weaving like it's not even happening.
So you got Anderson over Fedor?
I got Anderson overall. I have Anderson over everyone. Always.
He's your favorite.
He's my number one. Anderson's my favorite.
Has to be.
He's my favorite.
Have to be.
Who's your favorite?
Well, this is just my opinion. This is my opinion. And in that mix, of those great guys is Anderson and Fedor. I say Anderson overall, but I've had some fantastic enjoyment watching Fedor fights. Like, what I'm saying and what I said about it being possible that someone might have done performance-enhancing drugs, it's not an accusation. I'm just highlighting the reality of the environment that they were competing in. That's it. As far as my respect for him as an athlete and as a fighter, I'm a huge, huge fan of that guy. I've always been a huge fan. There's a video of me on YouTube with that UFC hated because I was talking about what a bad motherfucker he is. This is what he was fighting for the other organization. It's a highlight video of me just ranting about what a bad motherfucker he is. Like, I've always thought he was amazing.
I think Fedor's in everyone's top.
I have to be honest. I'm honest about everything, and even if it could be possibly perceived to be disrespectful, it's not my intention. My intention is to look at the reality. I don't know whether or not someone took a performance-enhancing drug. I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea. I could take a wild guess, but it's all bullshit unless I see it or unless we know for sure because someone tested positive.